Good morning. You know what it is. It's the Ball Hog Sports Talk. And this morning we're going to start with the center court. Today's episode, fast break. Fast break. Because there's 1.8 billion Muslims around the world celebrated the conclusion of Ramadan and broke their fast. Eid Mubarak to them and their families. Apologies if I messed that up. But as they celebrated Ramadan, we dive in today on how that concept, fast break, applies to sports, business, and entertainment. The term fast break is most commonly used in sports to describe the moment in basketball when a possession changes suddenly and the offense is rushing ahead, trying to get ahead of the defense to score an uncontested basket. But as y'all know in the Ball Hog Sports Talk, if you've been here, you know by now, we get a little deeper. On the positive side, a fast break is a dream come true. Think about it. After years and years of discipline and hard work, athletes often get their fast break or their opportunity to live their dream during the draft, as they hear their names being read by the league commissioner. With the such and such pick of the such and such draft, the such and such team selects fill in the blank. And just like that, an athlete has their break and his or her life changes drastically. And then they live happily ever after, right? Well, maybe. Then again, maybe not. Or dare I go as far to say, probably not. Because on the other side of the fast break, on the other side of that theory lives a darker reality. Athletes often experience a fast break as it pertains to their fame and their money. Here today, gone tomorrow. Unfortunately, that version of fast break doesn't end in a basket or end in a fairy tale, but it often ends in dejection, confusion, and sometimes even depression. When the fans are no longer screaming your name and the bank account is no longer flush with cash, the type of fast break that they experience leaves individuals broken altogether. And with that, let's dive into today's show. It's the fast break episode of the Ball Hog Sports Talk. You know what it is. It's the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy B Brown, ESQ, aka the Ball Hog, aka the Mouth of the South, aka Mr. Excessive Celebration, here for another week, and we'll be joined by, you know what it is, the Big Flo Show himself. Bring on my man Big Flo and let's get it started.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke, because this is the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy B Brown, ESQ, aka the Ball Hog, aka the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're going to give it to you rough, rugged, and raw, so come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on. Let's go.
What's good, America?
What's up, Big Flo? How are you, man?
Man, I'm living it, man. Friday night, Friday morning. Sun is out. Beautiful Chicago weather. You know, ready for a good weekend.
You said Friday night because your mind already on the weekend.
I'm already done with today.
We here. You know this is the Ball Hog Sports Talk, man. It's your boy B Brown, ESQ, aka the Ball Hog, aka the Mouth of the South, aka Mr. Excessive Celebration. AKA, I might have to say AKA the trustee. I did win my election.
Your Honor. I didn't know. What am I supposed to call you? Your Honor now? Or his trusteeship? What are we supposed to, what does that work? Congratulations, by the way, man. Man, look here, man.
Appreciate
I think it was that show at the end that pulled it off. We did a little show, a little pregame, you know what I mean? Got your mind right. Yeah. You didn't lose yourself. You know what I'm saying? This is what you had to go do. But man, I don't know. Does that change our relationship? Do I have to pay taxes when I speak to you or something?
No. You can park anywhere in town.
I can park wherever I want. I got free barbecue on Sundays.
All of that, man.
What does that come with?
It comes with responsibility, a lot of times thankless, but it is what it is, man. Roll up my sleeves and do what I got to get done. But I do want to thank you, man, for being my therapist on that day, because my nerves are all over the place. But we did want our audience to understand that a lot of times it's just like our game day experience and the athletes that we celebrate and that we cover here on the Ball Hog Sports Talk. So I appreciate the support, not only by from you, but from other people in the Ball Hog sports land. Y'all know how we do it every week. We ask you humbly, please like, please comment, please share, tag a friend, tag a foe, tag anybody that you know. If you're in the podcast world, please subscribe, tell a friend to subscribe. And with that, let's hop on in, man.
My dog wanted to congratulate you in case you did. You heard that.
Appreciate that. That's what that was, translation.
It was just congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate that. This is the fast break episode of the Ball Hog Sports Talk. So with that, fast break being the title, I'll be out of my mind not to give a shout out to two specific basketball references here I got to make. First, it was Dennis Rodman's birthday this week. So shout out to the Werner, man.
What is he about, 60?
I think he turned 60. I think he turned 60, man, which is, you know, sometimes I don't even look at the number because it makes me feel so old. But yeah, man, he had a birthday and he's the king of the fast break. Could you
imagine if Dennis Rodman was your granddaddy? Because you think 60, he got to have a couple, 2-3 grandbabies.
Yeah. Imagine that.
D. Rodman is your granddaddy. You come to the house with all that. Look at you. Whose uncle is this?
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Big John? My LB said congratulations on the win. I appreciate it, LB, my 5 dog. So yeah, man, it's one of those. I'm saying 5, my 7 dog. It's one of those things where if that is your grandfather and he is the person that is greeting your date at the door. Imagine, hey man, you met my granddaddy. He got piercings everywhere, tattoos.
6'7". What is he? 6'8"?
Dennis Rodman. You said how old? Oh, how tall is it? Dennis Rodman was 6'8", 6'9".
6'9". He might. You don't know what color his hair gonna be. No. He might have on a feather boa. Right. He may have all kind of craziness on. So yeah, he's 6'8". So
he's still Dennis Rodman, man.
But you gotta think, man. Look, I can't really mess this up because I'm not gonna do nothing crazier than Granddaddy be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I got Dennis Rodman at 6'7", actually. They listed him at 6'8". I think he's actually 6'7". Played much taller. All he did was rebound. All he did was carry out his role. He was a role player. Shout out to Dennis Rodman. Happy birthday. But a bigger happy birthday. And I say bigger just because it includes more people, includes more stories and more lives, is the WNBA. 25 years. The WNBA starts their 25th season today. Happy birthday to the WNBA. 25 years. That also makes you feel old, doesn't it? Dennis Rodman being 60, WNBA being 25. So with that, we gotta start the fast break episode with those two. So we celebrate.
Shout out to WNBA.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now let's hop on in, man, because it allows us to then walk on into the first topic, because there's an NBA playoff push going on right now, and this particular playoff race is unique.
Playoff push.
Right. Playoff push, playoff race is unique because there's this thing called a play-in. And not only are you trying to make sure you make the playoffs, because it used to be just make the top 8, you good. Now, there's a little ring.
People some shots. They give you a little shot.
They give you a shot. All the way from 7 to 10, right? Because you got 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 to 10 are part of this new playoff play-in concept.
Let's check that out. Let's see what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, the play-in, let's check it out. Let's see what it looks like. All right. Now, what are you thinking right here? When you look at this and you look at the West, you look at the East, Never in a million years that I think that on the West, in the play-in spots, at least in that 7 and 8, we could be seeing LeBron James. I love this concept though, because what happens is the 7th and 8th, for those of you who are confused by this new NBA structure, the 7 and 8 play each other. Whoever wins that game is in as the 7th seed, as you'll see right there on the diagram. Whoever loses the 7 and 8, right? So you're playing one game, 7th and 8th seed play each other. Whoever loses has one more hurdle to get over before they make it into the playoffs. And then they have to play the winner of the 9-10. The 9-10 seed winner plays the loser of the 7-8 seed. And whoever wins that one play-in game becomes the 8th seed game. The 8th seed team, rather.
That's a lot of work.
Like this, man. How do you like this?
I like it. I like it, especially in a year like this year. It's kind of change things up. You picked this year to let these guys flip it around. I think it worked for the NCAA tournament. We've seen in the NCAA tournament where people have come into the playing game, and I think one of the Final Four teams was a playing team this year.
You like it. I gotta say I don't like it. I'm gonna tell you why I don't like it. Because the NBA already had this, whether it's reality or not, had this reputation of basketball don't matter till playoff time.
Yeah.
Nobody plays defense until the playoffs. Now they're giving you even more time to turn up the intensity and actually play ball. Because it's only one game. And what scares me about that is if an injury happens, if an ejection happens. Shout out to, matter of fact, hold on, I got to give a shout out to my man, Udonis Haslem got kicked out the game, got ejected within 2 minutes and 30 seconds last night. He got in the game, first time really playing all season. He comes in the game,
he
gets
wasn't ready.
2 buckets, gets a board or 2, and gets kicked out in 2.5 minutes, right? So he got ejected. Shout out, because he was fighting the center, I'm tripping. From the 76ers, been playing. Going to be a Hall of Famer.
You know what it was?
He
don't normally play. He ain't bring no extra draw, so he wasn't gonna shower after the game. But now he's starting to get sweaty. So he's
a straight up thug. He's straight up Miami. I could tell by the way he put his hand and mushed him into his face. That's straight up Miami through and through. He Miami, but maybe too Miami. But in that example, we see that in an instant, someone can be injected. So you got one playing game. You playing whether you're the 7-8, the 9-10, you got one game to make it happen, right? If you're the 9-10 and something happens, all right, you lose, whatever. You were the 10th seed anyway, or you're the 9th seed anyway. You wasn't supposed to be in. Normal year, you wouldn't be in anyway. But that 7 and 8 seed matchup, you did all of this. It's hard to be the 7th seed.
And now you still got to keep working. Now 10 could come in because now you're talking about Golden State. They had a horrible year, but now they hot. Yeah, they come in here.
Nobody want to play Golden State. Nobody want to play Golden State. Steph Curry shooting out of his mind. You don't want a one-game play-in, and you got to go through Steph Curry because he can mess around and just get hot. Right now, the Lakers are behind Portland and Dallas for the 6th seed. That means the Lakers at this moment have a play-in game. And the
LeBron haters are already chipping this into his legacy. If he goes into a playing game, Michael Jordan never goes in the playing game. They're gonna put this right on his tombstone.
True.
Had to do a playing game, and if he lose it, Jordan never would have lost to one game to win it all to get in. He never would have did this.
It just I don't like it, man. I understand.
What about lottery implications? I kind of feel like if you're the 10th seed, do you fight this one game to get in this playoff, or you just take your lottery chances to get a lottery pick? You know what I mean? Because that's a lot, man. I feel like if you're the 10th seed and you win in, you're still in the lottery.
It keeps moving. It keeps moving the goalpost back, man. And the NBA already has this perception that nobody plays real basketball until playoff time. But playoff time now has been removed. I love the NCAA and the fact that anybody can win at any given time. You had, UConn play their way in by winning a conference championship and then went on to win the overall title. I love that when it comes to college basketball, but this ain't college. These are pros. It takes a lot to earn a 7 seed, and in a blink of an eye, you could be out of there and change your legacy. So I'm not in love with it at all, to be honest with you, man.
I don't know. You know what? Looking at some of the kind of what you said, like some of these people don't have to play anything to the end. Now you really don't have to do anything in. I agree with you on that. But do people really want to risk a 1-game plan? Now you're really trying to fight to be a 6 seed.
You should, but with load management, with normal injuries, with the fact that they had a shortened, abbreviated offseason because of COVID. There's a lot on the line. I don't think this was the year to do it, but I didn't get to make the decision, so it shall be done.
Call you. They called me. They didn't call you.
They didn't call
me. I got to vote. My ball. I got to get you in front of my people, man.
All good, man. You know what? I got to pay the extra service and get called waiting. They might have called me in my line.
You have the NBA package?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't got the NBA package, so maybe they called me. My line was busy. Yeah. But let's think about now. So you got the Mavericks and the Blazers are both ahead by 1 game. So we'll see what the Lakers will do. The Mavericks play the Raptors and the Timberwolves in the last 2 games. Both of those are eliminated from the playoffs. So mentally, they're already on the beach. The Blazers are going to play the Suns, who are the 2nd in the West. They actually, the Blazers lost to the Suns by 1 last night. Great game. And they also play the Nuggets as 4th in the West. So, you know, I don't know, man. It's one of them situations where anything can happen. But the New York Knicks, who I clown regularly, who I take any opportunity to clown, because I'm a Miami Heat fan. Let's go Heat. The Knicks been sorry since the Knicks been sorry since the Knicks been sorry. And somehow, some way, they keep selling out their doggone Madison Square Garden Arena. But they back, man. Julius Randle been playing ball. The Knicks have made it in the playoffs for the first time since 2013. Are the Knicks for real, or are they fugazi? They do not have to play.
I mean, Randall. Shout out to Randall because he like reinvented himself. Ever since dude said, what was that dude who clowned Randall and said that Zion Williamson's basically Randall, and he was like, I gave you 40 last year. So like ever since then, I feel like he's been rejuvenated. You know what I mean? That little stuff with the Lakers. He got himself tightened up a little bit. I think he was a little bit more swole up when he was in college. Right. I don't know, man. Like everything comes around, man. It's cyclical. Somebody got to be good. How many lottery picks do you have to get before you become good again?
That's a great question. I think it's less than it should be less than 20 or something like that. I don't know. Nick's been getting lottery picks for a long time. Hasn't worked. But Julius Randle resurrected his career. Shout out to him. That's the only good thing I'm ever going to say about the New York Knicks. So there it is. Documented on this day, May 14th, 2021. I said something positive about the New York
You're part of the local government now. You got to speak up.
Yeah, I got to speak positivity. Yeah. But we'll see what they do, man. But they will not be in a play-in situation. The 4, 5, 6 people were jostling the Hawks, the Heat, and the Knicks were going back and forth between the 4, 5, and 6, but they're in no jeopardy of the play-in game. The Washington Wizards, on the other hand, are in jeopardy of not making the playoffs, and Russell Westbrook has broken, which we got to give a pause for the cause. Russell Westbrook has broken the all-time triple-double record held by Oscar Robertson, a record that people thought was untouchable. It was up there in those. You know, you think of them records that nobody ever going to break that. Russell Westbrook broke it. And has also broken the record for the Washington Wizards for all-time triple-doubles in one season for their career, right? All-time triple-doubles. He broke it in one season. He's averaging a triple-double.
So you tell me Jordan didn't have that?
No. You messing around, right? You playing. Don't see. I'm not messing. Don't be talking about MJ, Michael Jordan.
MJ's my guy, man. But you know, sometimes the fans just get so crazy. I had to throw shots because right now there's somebody typing up something they're gonna probably put on the screen. I can't believe you said something about MJ. What you? Of course, he didn't want to
about MJ, man. They get my blood pressure all up. I'm not gonna believe. I see your sarcasm.
They weren't the Wizards then. They weren't the Wizards then.
They weren't the Wizards. No, they were the Wizards. They turned to the Wizards. Was it? Yeah, they were. Yeah. Come on, man. You don't remember the jersey? But the fact that Russell Westbrook is averaging a triple-double while playing alongside Bradley Beal, right, is going head-to-head with Steph Curry for the scoring title. That dude, Russell Westbrook, man, we talked about it last week. His career is pretty impressive. Now, you took Russell Westbrook over Allen Iverson last week, and I laughed at you. But I can't laugh at this stat. Russell Westbrook, shout out to you. Congratulations on breaking the record, man. 182 triple-doubles. That's crazy, man.
That's a lot, man.
Triple-doubles.
That's a lot. That's a couple seasons worth.
Yeah, man.
Triple doubles. You could expect him to give you one every time you come out there.
Averaging it over the season for I don't know how many times. He's
the thing is, what you go back to, what is it about his teams that never kill?
This one not on him. A lot of times I put it on him. This one not on him. No one could win with this team. Bradley Beal scoring points too. It's just they don't have enough. At the end of the day, you don't have enough. You just don't.
So let's just break records. If you can't win the game, let's
break records, baby.
What are you gonna do?
Break records. You know what I'm saying? Like a nice DJ, break them records. You know what I'm saying? That's what he out there doing. He breaking records. So I know, and you know, and everybody knows that it is time for the weekly LaMelo Watch. You tried to clown me last week because LaMelo only had 4.
Did he double up? What did he have? 8? What did he have?
You tried to clown me last week. Don't worry about how many points he had. He got the rookie of the year locked up.
Did he get triple-double?
He already get triple-double. Oh, that's where we at now.
That's the standard.
If it's triple,
you can't come after him and then don't. You know what I'm saying? You came after Westbrook. Now that's the new standard. Now we're gonna talk about
LaMelo balling, man. And look, Charlotte has clinched. That's right, clinched a playoff berth. I think he has clinched the Rookie of the Year award.
They clinched playoff or clinched play in?
Play in. All right. Yeah. See, that's why I don't like it too. Now it's like, I got to
be like they're 6 seed, like they can stretch.
But they in there. They got a chance.
He almost had a triple-double, I guess. He kind of.
He always look, man. The man is balling. But I think he made the most noise this week by claiming he could have been the NBA's version of Luka, meaning he could have played in the NBA at 14 years old. Now, we know at 14 years old, he scored 92 points in a high school game as a freshman, 41 points in the fourth quarter in that game. What say you? Do you think LaMelo Ball?
Get you a big glass of.
I would agree.
First of all, he wasn't even tall back then. He got all tall after that. Second of all, he used to shoot the ball all goofy.
He did. They both did. Their shooting style was a little broken, as they like to say in basketball terms.
And 92 points. There was no NBA veterans was injured during that stunt. That's why I give it up that 92 points in high school.
You ain't buying it.
Nah. Give me a rebound.
I would agree with him if he already had his height at 14 , but he was.
You would agree? You're still crazy,
man. You know I'm Team LaMelo, man. I'm Team LaMelo. When you got a dad that's that crazy, that crazy, and he's gone out of his way to build NBA champions. He's gone. That's it. His whole life was about building these guys and shaping them into NBA players. To be the youngest of the batch, to be the youngest of the litter. And have to take all of that from all of them for all them years. Yeah, man, it make you tough. I think he's a heck of a basketball player, man. Yeah, basketball IQ
14, no, sir.
Maybe 15. 15.
I give him 19.
You give him 19.
Exactly. He's ready this year.
It happened when it was supposed to happen.
Yeah. Right on time.
All right, man. So we gotta hop in though. We gotta hop in throughout this sports segment. It's the fast break episode.
Man, let's do it.
And we know LaMelo's the king of the fast break, but there's a different king of the fast break this week in terms of discussion. None other than DK Metcalf. We found out a lot this week. We talked about it in last week's show. Now we got to see it. We ain't had to talk about it. DK Metcalf got an opportunity to be about it. And what we found out is that he's close, but not really a track star. But he ran a 10.37, I think. 10.37. He was unable to qualify for the Olympic trials, but he did run a 10.37 in his Golden Games. And he finished 9th out of 9 in his heat. But he did beat 2 people because he was faster.
2 people had tripped up in the heat before.
No, he finished 17th overall, and there were 19 people.
So
He wasn't dead last in overall. He was dead last in his heat. 10.37. What's up? What do you guys say about 10.37?
I just look at this. That's fast as hell. 10.37 is fast as hell for a football player. But when you start getting into other people's business, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's very few people out there that can do pros in more than one sport. And DJ Metcalf is a grown man on the football field. The difference between DJ Metcalf and all those dudes is if he put the pads on, he probably runs a 10.47, and they all run like 11 something. You know what I mean?
He doesn't slow down drastically.
He's not going to slow down drastically. He's super strong. He can do whatever, and he can catch a ball. All these dudes run fast. They can't catch a ball. They get their nails done. Like, they're, you know what I'm saying? There's no toughness on that side. They can't do what he does. He can't do what they do. That's okay. That's okay. But, you know, he never really – how much training did he do? I think he was a hurdler or whatever.
Since January.
Yeah, since January. So, I mean, for that, I'll give him that. And if he really was trying to be a track guy, he'd probably lose 30 pounds at least. I mean, he's 230 pounds out there. What do you think the next heaviest track dude was? 160? 170?
You know what? The 100-meter dash, it depends. It invites different body types. But
how much does Usain Bolt weigh? What you think?
Usain Bolt at 6'5" probably only weighs about 190. I would say 190 pounds. I got a chance to see him in person. He looks more like a basketball player the way he's built. But there are some 100-meter sprinters that have that
thicker, but they're shorter,
lower. But yeah,
they're not short. You know, no one looks like DJ Metcalf. It's pretty safe to say.
No, and that's what you noticed during the race. I thought it was a
Usain Bolt's 207, but he's 6'5", so that's still thin.
207, 6'5". That's.
And he looks huge when he's out there running. He looks huge. He looks rocked up. So I'm gonna get Metcalf. It's a great effort. The fact that you cannot finish last, you know what I mean? Didn't get flat.
Professional sprinters.
Yeah, the other two. I want to know get the names of the two dudes. Let's shame them. We speed shaming today. What about the two dudes that let Metcalf?
Man, I think that he is taking a lot of heat this week because hurt people. All these sport professionals around the world trying to laugh at, like, I told y'all it's a different kind of speed. Let's be clear. He was in the race. The reason he got 9th out of the 9 in the race is because technique-wise, you could tell at the end he didn't understand a simple thing like make sure you lean at the tape and your torso comes over. He barely got 9th, right? So let's be clear. He got a great start, but the transitions that sprinters have, the different phases of the 100-meter dash, he doesn't understand the different phases. For him,
looked like he was chasing somebody. He looked like he was chasing somebody with a football in hand. He looked wild. It was so gross. The lane wasn't big enough.
Wild. It wasn't as poetic as the person.
It wasn't as fluid as let's say when I run my sprints. Like when I do, you know what I'm saying? I can't hold people to the same standard I hold myself.
Here we go.
You know? What? Hey, I used to throw the shot put. Right, I couldn't throw that thing hardly at all, but I used to win that Fat Man Challenge, boy. We used to do the weight man relay. Big man relay, couldn't nobody beat me. Undefeated. Let's go. Undefeated. Never won a shot put. Never won a shot put.
I'm gonna go check. You can say that safely on the Ball Hog Sports Talk. We can't fact check, but I'm going to fact check. I'm going to call some people from Evanston.
Hey man, call your boy. I got the AD number. We could call your boy Ray. What they said at the barbershop, man. Hey, you was there. You tell him I never lost a beat. So
I think it was a gallant effort. Y'all gotta stop tripping on people when they don't necessarily succeed, right? Because they say it's not about.
They always say you gotta fail to be a champion.
You gotta fail. It was his first attempt running with professional sprinters, and it was not a laughable attempt. He was in the race.
Well, the question I have is, what did he think was going to happen? He thought he was going to. He thought you was going to win.
I don't think he thought he was going to win. I don't think he needs to hang his head either. To run a 10.37 that big and only have 4 months of solid training. You've been training since January.
That's not true. 10.37 is super fast.
Super fast.
Yeah, super fast. Let's all jokes aside. It's this. I mean, people in the United States could beat. You know, although I know somebody who could beat him, but didn't run in the race.
We all know someone that can beat him. Okay, right? There's high school kids in Texas running 10 flat, right? But a lot of those high school kids, you're right. Well, it was wind dated. They had a strong wind in Texas.
That little kid a couple years ago ran 9 something in high school. The white kid.
The white kid went to Georgia.
Yeah.
Matt Bowling.
Yeah.
He was a bad man.
Bad man.
Bad man. But
shout out to Marcellus Moore. He's from out here. He can beat that. He runs for Purdue. But anyway,
the fact a lot of people you can think of one or two people in your life that run that fast. That man ain't got
none of them weigh 230 pounds though. None of them weigh 230.
And none of them that big. 6'5", 240, 250. And DK Metcalf ain't got nothing to hang his head about. Y'all just some hating. Because I
don't hate on him because he'll catch you now. Okay, so if you try to hate too much, he'll catch you. You try to run from him, he 230 pounds, he'll chase you down. So be careful.
Here's a question, my man, Big Cam. What's up, Big Cam Davis? He was a defensive end. His question: played at University of Florida, did big things, man, and obviously played at the St. Thomas Aquinas of the greater Fort Lauderdale, Florida area. Shameless plug. He says, has any professional sprinter ever transitioned into the NFL?
Yeah, Ronaldo Nehemiah.
But did he really transition? Because he played? Bob Hayes is the only one that I would say
Ronaldo Nehemiah did it, but I think Willie Gault was a professional sprinter at one point.
Willie Gault ran in a few races. He wasn't a professional sprinter.
He used to race.
Ronaldo Nehemiah is a great example, but did he really play? That wasn't a real transition.
What do you got?
Bob Hayes is the only person I can think of.
Somebody Google that. Ronaldo Nehemiah, how many games did he get? He got something. He played something.
I'm talking
on the uniform.
DK Metcalf is a beast. DK Metcalf is in that upper echelon of wide receivers. When the question is asked, I think he's asking successfully transition, had an impact on a team, did something such that was noteworthy, because 10-3-7 to me is good, but everyone's saying, I told you so, because he didn't make.
Here's the thing I will say though. There are a number of athletes that were track guys and chose football, right? But would have been track guys. You don't think Allen Rossum, you don't think Allen Rossum would have been an accomplished track guy had he just stayed in track, but he chose football.
Allen Rossum would have been in the mix. He had the 60-meter run. He and I both ran track at Notre Dame, and we had a good old time because it wasn't our primary thing. We could show up in meets and whatever happened. Allen Rossum would have absolutely been in the mix, but to be the elite of the elite of the elite sprinters takes a whole different type of speed, and that's what DK Metcalf
and training though. But you gotta say in training. So if you take some of these guys that, like again, DJ Metcalf ran 10-3-7 and he started working since January. If he wanted to be a track guy and he decided to slim up, lose some of that weight, not be so top heavy, and actually work with the track guy you think all those guys that were in that track meet, all of them just been working since January, or they've been working for 5 years?
They've been doing it their whole lives. Whole lives.
Tommy Smith.
Okay.
The legendary Tommy Smith.
Legendary Tommy Smith. What did he do in football?
3 seasons with the Bengals.
In the practice squad.
Is that what that's not good enough? We gotta switch touchdowns.
All I'm saying is in my NFL profile, and I didn't know this, but when I won the election, they said former NFL player. They don't even acknowledge your practice squad years. The NFL don't give me credit for that. When you look up Wikipedia, they say play 1 year. They don't give me no acknowledgement for them practice squad years. Like I wasn't doing nothing.
That's racist.
Something. Listen, NFL. I know NFL does it because
come on, NFL shit.
They don't want to mess around.
What I was doing those years.
Stop messing up my resume, man. I'm telling people I was here these years.
Like, Wikipedia said no.
Yeah.
Man, I'm wicked.
It's tough. It's absolutely tough.
Are you Haitian? No.
Yeah. Okay. Stop. I said.
It's close enough.
I don't think that anyone has made the transition the other way, and because it's difficult. And my man Cheeky Black, my man Chew Jordan says they don't want to take them hits. Not a lot of track guys.
There's a lot of smoke out there, man. Nobody ever tackles you.
And if it were to ever happen, it should be in this generation, because the rules have changed and they don't allow you to be decapitated per se. The rules have changed,
so it's safe now.
It should be safer, but at the same time, the laws of physics apply, because the same rationale you gave me for why DK Metcalf is not going to just automatically be an elite sprinter because he's a little too big means that the elite sprinters are on the slighter side. And
they run too high too. They put so much chest. They give you all this. You can't run like that. If they can stay out the blocks, if they just stay how they come out the blocks, they're good. But when they get up there like these, somebody.
Do you think Usain Bolt can make a good wide receiver? 6'5", 207 is
just red zone, something maybe quick little thing, catching out of bounds, that type of stuff. Maybe just throw them deep ball. You could use them. You could put packages together for them. You could. I shouldn't say that red zone. That's not even true. I think you get them full length of the field, but just go routes, outs, stuff where catch it, go out of bounds, catch it, take off. Maybe a dude drag him down. I don't think he's soft.
The moral of the story is this.
To stay outside the hashes, though. Nowhere inside the hashes. Grown men are in the hashes.
While everybody laughing at DK Metcalf, find me somebody that could go the other way. An elite sprinter that can go play football. You got to be wired a certain way to get hit and then get back up. Most people that get hit real hard, they lay down and wait on an emergency medical service provider to come.
A lot of hoopers been created that way. A lot of drills, a lot of football drills created.
Everybody's been circulating the little image of the little 5-year-old kid getting straight up trucked. And people ask me what I think. I said, look, it builds character. The little boy gonna be all right. And I promise you this, he's officially gonna be a basketball player.
Soccer, that's how lacrosse was invented, because you can't hit too hard at lacrosse. So they say, look at
you know what? Let me not just make fun of that. I'll say this about that video because it's been circulated and people will question whether or not you can circulate it, and that's child abuse and yada, yada, yada. I'll say this. What that reflects to me, both offensively and defensively, on that little video, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go Google it. 5-year-old kid.
Yes, decapitated.
First thing that's going to come up. What that shows to me is there are a lot of bad coaches in youth football. The fact that they're doing the drill, the fact that fundamentals were obviously thrown out the window in the drill, that's all that shows. But it also shows.
I'm going to defend the coaches too in a small extent, right? So, again, please watch the video if you guys have it. If anybody could pull it up, we can show it. So, when I was coaching them at that age, I used to have a saying. I used to say, trust your pads, right?
Right.
Trust your pads, because the kids will come. When a kid is out there and they see someone coming at them, they see that all their pads coming at them. They don't realize they also have pads. So they act as if you would act if you were walking around the street clothes and somebody tried to tackle you, right? And they cower. And I say, trust your pads. So you have to kind of force these kids into making contact to get them over the fear of running into people. At that age,
Reg, that little boy was 5. What you mean trust your pads? He like, trust what? What you thought? What trust me?
My point is, there's nothing wrong with that boy. He got up. He was fine. Every time I ever saw a really big hit in football, like little kids like that, you hear, pow, the kid gets right up.
Yeah.
The dude, it don't take much to knock over a kid that weighs 35 pounds. You know what I mean? He's fine. Those pads protect him.
So our esteemed audience helped me out. Okay, he's 7. Same thing. 7 years old. He's not ready to listen to trust your pads, that philosophical.
So I'm saying you had to do some drills to force a little bit of contact.
That was the drill. They just put him in the drill, and then you saw the outcome of that drill.
So now they know that he can't partner with dudes no more. That's not your partner no more. But
man,
you don't know.
He's got to go pick up a basketball and learn how to get a killer crossover, because it's gonna happen again.
That kid gonna show that video when he get drafted. He gonna say that's what taught me how to stay low. Right there. He'd be all right.
Here's what I will say, because parents that watch that video, matter of fact, don't go look up the video.
No, if you haven't, unless you got daughters,
don't go look up that video, because as a youth football coach, we're trying to hold on to what's left of our talent. There's a mass exodus. Parents just taking their kids and they gone. Videos like that don't make it better. So not only do I blame the coach for putting that kid in that situation, but I blame the coach or the parent or whoever circulated the video. That's the challenge. I will say this, parents, although it looks bad, A, the kid will be all right. B, when the kids are equally positioned such that one kid is not that much heavier than the other, the outcome won't be.
Those kids are the same size. The one dude just brought smoke, and the other dude just. Somebody got to be the hammer. Someone's got to be the nail. That was his turn to be.
I'm more concerned about the offensive player, because we got to make sure he stay eligible. With that much aggression, you don't want that kid ever not having the outlet of football. That's an aggressive young man. But here it is, man. It's one of those situations where, in this fast break episode, you look at what DK Metcalf did We asked whether or not people could go in reverse. I'm not certain that there has been any track guys that have gone on to have a successful NFL career other than Bob Hayes. I don't know anybody. Bob Hayes is back in the 70s. So it stopped clowning DK Metcalf. Good job, DK. I'm standing up for you.
You clown him, race him. That's all I got to say. If you clown him, race him.
Right? Race him. Exactly. Line it up. Line it up. I started off in the opening, and I talked about this whole concept of fast break. Fast break, and it comes from very different angles when we talk about in the Ball Hog Sports Talk. In that opening, I touched on the fast break of how you could be here today, gone tomorrow. Your fame, your money is out the door, and it feels like a fast break. And unfortunately, it leaves a lot of people broken. This week, unfortunately, an example of that, Colt Brennan, who we all know was dynamite for the University of Hawaii. He played from 2004 to 2007. Led the team in all kinds of statistical output. They had an undefeated season, only time in school history. Well, that Colt Brennan, he got third in the Heisman race behind Tim Tebow, who we gonna get to. Don't worry. And he got third behind Tim Tebow and McFadden. McFadden was second from Arkansas. That Colt Brennan, unfortunately, overdosed on fentanyl. And he overdosed in a rehab center in Southern California, where he had been for 5 months, but he left a month ago. He tried to come back, but he's turned away because of capacity. I wanted to just very briefly mention it and also do a brief, very brief moment of silence for Colt Brennan, but not only for him, but for all of the athletes. That when that fast break happens, when the sport is taken away from you, when the money is depleted, when the friends, air quote, friends are all gone, when the family that used you for that fame and money now turn their back on you, for all the athletes that find themselves broke in when that fast break happens and find themselves depressed, sometimes suicidal, let's have a moment of silence for both Colt Brennan and for that phenomenon in hopes that we can do better. Sports can be a beautiful thing, a wonderful thing, but make sure you have a real support system around you of people that love you, because the same fans that scream your name and wear your jersey, those are going to be the same fans that kick dirt on your name, that laugh at you when you have adversities, that turn their back, that say, I told you so, and send around memes making fun of your plight. So make sure that your substance and your definition of yourself is well beyond what a fan or what a paycheck will allow you. I don't know if you had anything to weigh in on it, man.
I mean, it is deep when you start thinking about it. And I think, a lot of people, first thing they want to talk about, they want to point to is CTE and different things of that nature. And I do think CTE is a real thing.
It is.
Right. Coming off what happened to that little kid, obviously, hopefully nothing happens with his head. He didn't have a concussion or anything like that. But when it comes to football and just the transitioning in every area, you have a few major transitions in life, right? You're going to go from, for us, we go K through 5, then junior high, then you go to high school, then high school to college, you go real world, whatever, transitions. And you lose people in the transition. You have a chance to reinvent yourself. But people don't know what to predict that next transition after it comes from football sometimes. If you have football after college, if you don't have that plan, if you don't have the outside interest, if you're not starting to work on that next thing, that transition is tough. You know what I mean? Right. I'm looking about to be an empty nester. That's a transition. It's like, okay, what am I going to do? So I try to plan early. So I said, let me, work with Bobby on this podcast. So I got something to do. But you got to have a transition. You did the big man trying to work out here. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to start working ahead and thinking about it. And these athletes coming up today, thinking about what they're going to do next and how they're going to do it. On the Big Flow show, when I interview a lot of professional athletes, the question I'm always asking them is, what was your transition like? What was your next step? How are you thinking about it? And a lot of the people are just like, I don't know. They come in, I had this and I wanted to go. Like you mentioned yourself, you played football as long as you wanted to because you had a transition to go to law school. And I just think a lot of these kids just never have that. They never think of a day when it's going to be over and when it's going to be different. And they can't believe the reality of the world once the production's over. Like once it's over and there's no more football and you're not doing anything, like people don't mess with you. You look up one day and you got like 3 friends and they barely talk to you and nobody's written about you for a while. And that's just tough and it's terrible.
We've seen it over and over again. I think on parents, it's incumbent upon us. And y'all apologies for the you hear the banging in the back, getting some work done to the house. So
that's just a beat. That's just a baseline.
Just baseline, boom, boom, boom. Our producer put that thing in there, baby. I will say this. It's incumbent upon us parents to make sure that our kids know that they are more than just the athlete. You see it in Pop Warner. I see it in AAU basketball. We see it in every youth sports program that you know who the best player is. There is a dynamic. There is a social fabric that occurs among the kids. There's a social dynamic that occurs among the parents. It is very clear at a very early age who is exceptional with their athletic prowess, and they get treated differently. And you as a parent, and I say you, the general you and I as well, but anyone listening, it's incumbent upon us to make sure our kids know that they are more than just an athlete, that they have value beyond whatever sport that they are in and what performance they have in that particular day, because there will be a day. Not maybe, not if, not probably, absolutely. It's as guaranteed as death. It's as guaranteed as taxes. There will be a day that you are no longer an athlete.
Unless your name is Tom Brady. You played too.
But Tom Brady, even Tom Brady, there's going to be a day.
It will.
We just saw Drew Brees had to close the door. Udonis Haslem, 18 years. Go ahead, UD, thugged out. There's going to be a day where you're no longer an athlete. So make sure you're prepared for it and know that you're more than just whatever you bring to that sport. All right, I wanted to hop into a sport that we don't talk about much here, but it's a little bit of black ice going on, baby. The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Let's go.
The Tampa Bay Lightning, NHL. You know you done came to the BallHog Sports Talk where we talking NHL. The Tampa Bay Lightning.
We don't discriminate on the show.
Discriminate, baby.
You got any stories about cricket? Let us know.
Bring it to the BallHog Sports Talk. We'll talk cricket. We ain't scared.
We'll talk cricket. I'm not scared. Who's
the Tampa Bay Lightning has not one, not two, but 3 black players.
When they come out of ice.
On ice. But the first in NHL history. It's like, is this just not? It's kind of like a first because there's been an unwritten rule of discrimination in the NHL. They were very active throughout Black Lives Matter, throughout what I call the year of George Floyd. They were very active, but it's kind of unwritten rule if you think about it, because in most of our communities, and I'm saying most of our communities because I'm thinking about how I grew up. There's a lack of access to hockey by black people. I don't know.
And this thing all going down right down the street from your house, by the way.
Say again?
This all is going down right down the street. This history we talking about happening right down the street from your house.
Tampa Bay. But at the NHL level. I don't know at the youth level.
Tampa Bay, what they're playing in Sunrise.
They're playing in Sunrise. But it's very costly to play youth hockey. The equipment, the ice time, it's costly to play. Whereas basketball, all you need is a basketball. You need a hoop and a dream, baby. That's all you need. Track, you don't need that. Line up, we're going to run light pole to light pole, as we say in Florida. If I whoop you, I might mess around and join the track team. But I'm running light pole to light pole, baby. And I'm showing my speed. Football, don't take much. All right. Some people don't even buy the cleats. They could play in straight hard tops, hard bottoms, and church shoes. That's when you know you got you a ball player. But hockey take a lot of money to play. Is it the unwritten rule of discrimination, or is it the lack of access that most black communities have?
I'm not going to say it's discrimination. Actually, I think that there's been a big push from youth hockey, from what I've seen, the few people that I know, to try to get more athletes. from black athletes into hockey. I think the biggest thing is nobody's daddy played hockey, right? So I didn't play any hockey. I don't know anything about it. I didn't play baseball.
It's not passed on. Got it.
It's not passed on. So, you see a lot of like foreigners. So, I'm a Haitian. So a lot of people from my generation didn't play football. They played soccer. But then the generation beneath mine, you're starting to see NFL football players, whatever, because their parents were born here and they kind of got indoctrinated into the sport. Right. Hockey's, a tough sport because, again, it's super expensive, not just the ice time. I mean, like when you start to get to the elite level, these guys are flying out of the country. They're all over the place. It is the most expensive sport by far. So people are like, okay, who wants to try their kid out in a sport that's that expensive that they may not even watch and do whatever? But as you see it, we're starting to come. I mean, we're starting to come in there. I didn't know that there was 3 black people on an NHL team, let alone starting. I never knew there was a team. I thought maybe 1 or 2 would probably be about the max. Right. I mean, they had a guy picked, I think, number 2 in the draft. I think it's Popeye Jones' son. Got drafted in the number 2 in the draft in hockey. I mean, it's a good sport you're watching. It's a good sport if you get into it. I just think
I wish, and I see somebody on here
and you can fight.
Says we don't have youth hockey in South Florida, and they're right. Man, my contractor is straight up like right below me. But I wish we did because I never got on ice. I'm like, look, put me on some roller skates. You know what I'm saying? I could dance, bounce, boogie, I could rock out, but I never was on some hockey ice. But my former employer, who shall remain nameless, used to have this event where all the employees would get to be on the ice in Rockefeller Center. And I'd already decided that I'm never getting on any ice skates because at that age, why? But my sons, your kids are funny, man, because I always tell them don't be afraid of anything. You can do all things. It's biblical. Don't disrespect God. You could do it. Believe in yourself, man. You can do it. And so here's this opportunity. I have my kids at this event, and now someone says, hey, you want to get on the ice? No, I'm good. I'm not getting on any ice. My son looks at me and repeats the same words I've been saying to him about don't be afraid.
One chance, one opportunity.
Right. So I'm like, now I'm in a tough spot. I'm in a pickle, Reg, because I'm like, Big Flo, my bad. I'm in a situation where I got to live my creed. My son's sitting there looking at me. I got these ice skates. They got my size. I'm like, y'all probably got my size 14. They're like, nah, we got that. I done ran out of excuses. And so I was like, you know what? Man, give me them skates. But I will tell you, man, that it was natural, bro. We rhythmic people. I had a ball. First and last time I ever been on ice skates, didn't fall at all, picked it up quickly, figured out the technique, and I was rocking by the end of it, man. So I wish we did have hockey, youth hockey down in Florida, and more communities did have hockey. I still probably wouldn't have committed to it, but it would have been fun to get out there.
They could fight.
I mean, they straight up fight. We talked about the NHL fight. It was a premeditated fight. Like it was the on-site game. It was the equivalent of all day throughout the school day saying, I'm gonna see you at school at 3:00. Meet me at the back park.
Yeah.
That's how they fought in the NHL game. And it was all good. No suspensions, no $5,000, a little minimum fine for the previous act that incited it. But shout out to NHL. Shout out to the black players that are starting for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, it's the fast break episode, so we got to get to this story. Mm-hmm. And I know we're running a little long, so we're going to speed it up. And what better way to speed it up than to talk about the Kentucky Derby results? Medina Spirit failed the post-race drug test, and by doing so could be stripped of the title. It was an anti-inflammatory drug that caused the failed drug test. The entire race team is probably going to appeal the verdict, so we don't know whether or not the title will be revoked. But I ask you, does that taint the results? Anti-inflammatory. You got big money involved in sports, not when it's not a human doing the drugs, but you got the animal doing drugs. And I want all of the people that spoke up and spoke out against Michael Vick and called for him to be in jail forever for animal brutality. Y'all better speak up. If we find out that they didn't drug this horse, y'all better speak up. Do you think this takes anti-inflammatory?
My problem with this is it's not a banned substance. It's a banned amount. And it was double the amount, which sounds crazy, but I look at that's okay. Let's say you can take 4 Advil before a football game. You took 8 Advil. Did that make you, well, let's say basketball, is that going to make you dunk the ball? Is that going to make you do things you couldn't already do? Or is that just going to make it so it doesn't hurt as much at the end? It's one race. It wasn't like the man had to run.
Isn't that a part of it? Being able to dunk while hurting? If everybody else got to hurt, the amount was put in there.
The problem I have with it when it comes to stuff like this is, okay, I'm assuming they gave him a shot, right? It was a steroid. I'm sure they gave him some sort of a shot. You know, it was a little too much in the syringe. Whatever they had, was it too concentrated when they pulled it out? Does his body have a heart? Because, you know, let's say they probably get to give him the shot every however many times. Does his body not process it as well? You know, like I can't process caffeine. My body's getting old and weary, so I can't process caffeine, right? So a cup of coffee would do a lot more to me than it does to you. So I'm just saying.
You're fine with this. It sounds like you're saying you're fine with it, Reg. I don't know. So that means
he took a couple too many Advil. He's good.
Tom Brady, by deflating the football, it's like you
cheated. That's a cheater.
You think he cheated. So how is this not cheating? All that is a little less air in the football. Like he took too many of the anti-inflammatory pills that then prevented this horse from enduring the pain that other horses have to endure, which allowed this horse to go on and win. Medina Spirit, you cheated, man. You cheated. You
cheated. He over there mad. He like, man, I told y'all I couldn't take too many more pills, man. I'm supposed to win this, man. Nah, I ain't gonna be able to make
Mr. Ed vibe. He probably cursed all the people out. Y'all done messed me up. I didn't need it. I didn't need the pill, man. But we'll see what happens. They will obviously appeal the verdict. So it could be years from now.
This ain't the first time that this trainer has been affiliated with it. So he playing the victim card. He said, something's wrong with horse racing.
Right.
Something wrong with horse racing. It ain't me. I'm not what's wrong with horse racing. Something wrong with horse racing. This keeps happening. This keeps happening. So that makes you think he's a cheater. When you had those type of excuses,
right? Yeah,
be putting but you know you're gonna take the thing is about it though. If he does get caught for that, you knew they were gonna take his blood test and trust him after the end. So what are you doing?
Maybe I don't know.
What happens to the bets? That's my biggest question. What happens if you tore your card up because you did, man, I done tore this thing and mess around in there? Or what about the people who collected their money? Do they come back and some dudes?
That'll be interesting. I think that now that sports betting is legalized, these are going to be the cases that end up in the court because we won't know for several years if they possibly this could be questionable for several years before we know who actually won, and it'll be in the court. So what happens they don't pay some people the wages? What happens to all the wages?
All those people who got their money, they're spending it. So now the people that tore their card up or threw it away, or if they still had a card, they said, "Now I want to come in." That's the shockwave around the world.
It's the challenge of making sports betting legal. Because
sports betting lobbyists are saying, look, please put some little extra water in the next sample. Man, let's just do.
I think what's going to happen is they're probably going to stop paying out until, it was a whole week later, but they're probably going to stop paying out until all of the post-event stipulations have been met. But we shall see.
Could you imagine if you still had your card and you somehow didn't cash it in? You'd be so mad.
Yeah, I don't. I told you I don't bet, but. Let's hop into the business segment, man, because I gotta get to this story. We talked about in the opening the fact that so many of our Muslim brothers and sisters, they came to the end of Ramadan and they broke their fast. And I tried to say Eid Mubarak. I think that's how you say it. If I mess it up, I apologize. But there is a high-profile athlete, and we're putting this in the business segment, and I'll tell you why. But there's a high-profile athlete that now has converted to Islam and observed Ramadan, and his name is none other than Kyrie Irving. So we know Ramadan ended on May 12th, and Kyrie has been vocal in the fact that he is converted. I thought it was interesting. It has to be tough for athletes because you're required to fast. So you can't consume food or water for the entire day while the sunlight is up. It's got to be tough to play games during the day when you can't even hydrate.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could do it.
That's dedication.
That's real dedication, real sacrifice. So
we had a couple guys that were Muslim on the team in Notre Dame, and they had to go through it. I don't Ramadan. I don't really know my knowledge, so if I mess something up, but I know it's not the same time every year. I don't, so sometimes it hit during spring ball, sometimes it didn't. But that's dedication, to be able to sit there and not even sip water and just to kind of suffer through it. But I guess the reflection.
So Eid Mubarak to our brothers and sisters. But Kyrie is in the business section because he's also launching a business advisory firm to support underrepresented entrepreneurs and businesses. Kyrie is such a polarizing figure because he says stuff like, the earth ain't round or the earth is flat. He says it.
Was he serious about that?
I don't know that he wasn't serious. I still
I don't want to know. That's why I won't look it up. Like I refuse to find out.
But he's a polarizing figure. He's a very polarizing figure. He got fined $35,000 for not speaking to the press. But on the other side of it, this is why I say he's polarizing. On the other side of it, there's a narrative about him that's so deep that he talks about breaking the system such that there's freedoms for the players. And he's now investing in this advisory firm to help out with underrepresented entrepreneurs. He's an interesting dude, man. I don't know how to put my finger on a place where he ends when it's all said and done, his legacy, but he's a very interesting dude. But I think it's a great showing that he's putting his money where his mouth is and investing in these underrepresented entrepreneurs.
I think Kyrie's one of those guys that, it's easy to have a quick, if you just take a sound bite of him, it's easy to have a quick decision or quick opinion of him and say, oh, well, this dude is here. He's a cancer. He's not here. He's not there. I think he's one of those guys that really let you know that you got to get to know people and understand who they are. You like to sit down with Kyrie for a couple of hours and have a conversation with him and find out his philosophy, and you make sense that
you might be confused, so you got to come back next week.
Come back next week, really understand what the brother's doing. But he seems so selfish with certain acts, but then he seems so selfless with, other acts. Nobody's 100% one way or the other. So I'm just going to say, I'm going to withdraw my opinions of Kyrie that I used to kind of have of him and just watch this brother over the next few years, see what happens with him. Because he looked like he might just be going through some transformational stuff that some of it ain't none of my business and some of it is, going to be for public consumption.
Yeah. He made, I think when that interview, when he made the point that, I have feelings. I'm a human. I'm allowed to have feelings. Stop making me feel as though I can't have feelings because I'm an NBA player. I'm a human. Like it was very pointed. It was, I think, right on the spot. So, but we say congratulations to him for putting his money where his mouth is. And now, in this part of the show, the fast break episode of the Ball Hog Sports Talk. Right now, I ask you, please tag a friend, tag a foe, like, comment, share. This is the part of the show that you have been waiting on, and we about to go in because it's time to talk about Tebow. Who? Tebow. He's got that kind of impact. Every time his name comes up, it has a ripple effect. So come on in here, y'all, because it's time. Because in this week of sports, there's a big business story sitting in the middle of it. In this part of the fast break episode, we're going to talk about somebody that got a fast break.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the blue, out of nowhere, when no one was talking about the prospects of Tim Tebow playing in the NFL. A little thing like Urban Meyer getting hired for the Jacksonville Jaguars starts this series of events that ends with Tebow.
Timmy
Tebow has been signed to a 1-year deal not for baseball, not for broadcasting, to play football.
No doubt.
To the Jacksonville Jaguars, the reports claim that he will earn $700,000 in base salary.
Somebody give me a chance like that. Give me a $700,000 chance. Let me give you $700,000 to see if you can do something you said you can do. We ain't nobody proved it yet, but we're gonna see.
Look, they only got five tight ends on the roster, and none of them have such an identifiable name and the stats to suggest that he doesn't have a chance. I think he got a good chance. Those five, Chris Manhurst, James O'Shaughnessy, Luke Farrell, Ben Ellefson, and Tyler Davis. Most of y'all ain't heard of none of them. They had Tyler Eifert last year. He's gone off the roster. So they've got five no names. No disrespect.
O'Shaughnessy from Naperville. Stop it.
Just because he's from Naperville doesn't mean he is a named source.
His name O'Shaughnessy, and he's a brother. That'll remind you.
All that's messed up.
Throw you all off.
Right. Throw you completely off.
Yeah.
But now in the tight end room is Tebow. Who? Tebow.
Does he instantly get to sit at the head of the table?
He's sitting next to. He's the assistant head coach. That's the title they don't have on here. When you get signed out of that thin blue air in a position you've never played, and there's people like Skip Bayless that are defending the signing and saying that Skip Bayless had the nerve to say on his show that he would take Tebow as a blocker over Shannon Sharp. Blasphemy.
Yeah.
That's a Hall of Fame tight end guy. Yes, he wasn't a big blocker, but he still was a tight end guy that played the position and learned the position and earned his yellow jacket. To hear Skip Bayless say that he would take Tebow, who? Tebow. He would take Tebow over Shannon Sharp. This was one time I threw something at my TV. Now I ain't throw nothing big at the TV.
See, you let him win. That's the thing. Stephen A. Smith tried to get under your skin and it worked. You can't. No,
it wasn't Stephen A. It was Skip Bayless.
Oh, Skip Bayless.
It was
even worse.
He got under my skin. I threw a pillow at the TV.
He's winning
because he told Shannon Sharp, a Hall of Fame tight end,
to his face.
To his face. They was right across from each other. He said, I'll take Tebow over you as a blocker. He couldn't say he'll take him over him as a tight end in general. He couldn't say he'll take him over him as a tight end as a pass catcher. It was the only rock that he could throw.
You say something like that?
Look, man, Tim Tebow. Who? Tebow has America thinking that a quarterback who is unsuccessful as being a quarterback who has been on the shelf for 9 years is justified in being signed as a tight end. So now it's Tebow. Who? Tebow got all of America, the sports world. And I put it in the business section because this ain't nothing but business.
It is.
It's gotta be business.
He played for Urban Meyer. He brought Urban Meyer championships. If nothing else, he's good luck, right? He's from the South Florida area. Loves you. Got to bring tickets, bring in excitement. Shake it up a little bit. Will he make the team? I don't know. I mean, that's a lot on him, man. I don't know how many tight ends you keep in the average team. 7, 8 tight ends they're gonna keep. The Bears got like 25 tight ends, so maybe they're gonna keep a lot of tight ends in that thing. I don't know. It's a marketing play. We're talking about Jacksonville again. Urban Meyer's his show. He's going to do what he wants to go do. If he wants to give Tim a chance to come in, maybe some people need some faith healing in there. They got him coming in there so he can run the fellowship for Christian athletes.
You said they brought him in to be the team chaplain. $700,000 be the team chaplain.
So somebody got to say grace every meal. Somebody got to say grace.
$700,000 be team chaplain. And look, because everyone's like, all right, it's five tight ends on there. He might make the team. He might not. But when you bring in Tebow, who? Tebow. That means somebody, a tight end that's been playing the position, that wanted an opportunity, that has struggled with the fact that they didn't get invited to the combine because there wasn't a combine. The pro day wasn't as successful because of COVID, but they are a good player. They've been playing the position. They've committed to it. There's going to be somebody that identifies in that category that will not be in a locker room, because Tebow is taking that spot.
If he makes the team, he makes the team.
You with it, huh?
He got an opportunity.
How about all the people that have said this shows just how racist the NFL is because Colin Kaepernick still can't get an opportunity. Yet Tim Tebow, after being out 9 years, is on a roster in a new position with no experience whatsoever. 9 years.
On a roster for now. He ain't made nobody team yet. They brought him in.
Kaepernick hasn't even been on the roster.
Bonus? What kind of signing bonus did he get?
I don't know. But Kaepernick hasn't even been on the roster.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can look at it two ways. From a Jacksonville level, that's one thing. Hey, look, they're going to pick up Tim Tebow. I don't think that they were in the market for a quarterback. I don't think Kaepernick wanted to play tight end. So they went ahead and grabbed this dude and put him in there at a position that maybe he could play, maybe he can't. The issue of Kaepernick and the issue of Tebow, I think, is two separate. You get to bring them together is just a little bit too much of a leap.
But you understand why people would.
I understand why it bothered people.
Because Kaepernick.
At the same time, I think Jacksonville was a little tone deaf when they tried to hire the strength coach that just came out of Iowa and had the issues there.
You call it tone deaf. I call it white power. At the end of the day, they don't feel as though there's going to be a backlash. And I'm joking by saying white power, but I think that there is a sense of tone deafness in making these decisions that you don't realize the impact. Now, I don't think that Urban Meyer went out of his way to sign Tim Tebow to, put his middle finger up at Colin Kaepernick, but at the same time, not to understand how the two would come together, because those people, those purists who have said that Colin Kaepernick has been out too long to justify signing him, I don't hear him saying the same thing about Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
He's been out 9 years.
He's been out 9 years.
9.
I think at the end of the day, they didn't make when you look at that decision. I think Urban Meyer came in, his first time NFL coach. He looked in. He had an old guy that he loved, who was a great part for his locker room, great part for his team. I don't think he said, "What do we do? Bring in Kaepernick or bring in Tebow?" Tebow. I think Kaepernick's name never came up. They just drafted a quarterback. I don't want to put that burden on Urban and that team of the Colin Kaepernick situation. I'm not going to put that whole burden on them. He brought in Tebow for a reason. It's great for South Florida. He had success with them in the past. He thought he was going to give this dude a shot that gave him so much in his career, gave him his first national championships, and did whatever. So I'm not going to give. I don't know Urban like you know Urban, but I'm not going to put that on his shoulders.
Well, I'll say this: under that rationale, Urban, you got my number. Go ahead and sign me, dog, because I think I would be good for the South Florida area.
I do too.
I had success under Urban Meyer.
I think so too.
I will be a good leader in the locker room. I would even lead prayer.
Right.
Sign me.
Yep.
He been out 9. I've been out 20.
Hey, come on.
19. I've been out 19.
For wine, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Sign me, Urban. At this point, sign me. But
you gotta
look,
give me the full
while
700.
I don't think the two are exactly the same, I started thinking about it because I reached out to a few of our old teammates. And to me, Jarius Jackson was a better athlete than Tim Tebow. And I just wanted to get my mind around. So I started reaching out to different people who played at Notre Dame just to get their feel about Tim Tebow. I know people who coached Tim Tebow. I know some of those same people that played with Jarius Jackson. So I was asking him about who's a better athlete, yada, yada, yada. Because at this point, you're saying he's got to be a phenomenal athlete to change positions in an NFL locker room. You got to be a phenomenal athlete to do that, okay? But in doing that, I started thinking, has there ever been a black quarterback that an NFL team has kept around to just mentor other people? Matt Schaub just retired last year.
No, he didn't.
He left on his own. You didn't even know he's still in the NFL.
Who did he play for?
Falcons.
Shut up.
They bring Tim Tebow is coming in for all of the reasons that you just explained, all the qualitative, soft skill reasons you just explained. But I just don't, and it ain't all about race, but who am I not to at least analyze it from that standpoint? I don't know any black players that they just brought in to just be there as a mentor.
Is RG3 considered a mentor to you?
No. RG3 played.
RG3
was there because he was a mobile quarterback that they could put in, and they wouldn't have to completely recreate the offense that Lamar Jackson was running.
What about Tyrod Taylor?
Tyrod Taylor, that was the fact that he had a medical issue prevented him from being a starter, but he was in there because he was competing for the job and he was going to be the starter.
What about Warren Moon?
Stop. Warren Moon was the most productive.
Warren Moon played till he was 47 years old.
And bald. So did Randall Cunningham. Nobody was just kept around to just be there. To just be there.
What about the dude?
Jacoby Brissett. All right, you're going to ball. I just don't know. I mean, look, you give me a name and I'll go with it. I just haven't heard one.
They got a dude from Iowa State. He played for the Seahawks for a long time. What's his name? Black quarterback. I don't remember his name.
I think that's Joe Webb.
No, not Joe Webb.
Joe Webb was in Minnesota.
Oh,
played Minnesota.
But he was there forever. But you're right. There's not that many people that do it. But you know what, man? We're gonna get
Seneca Wallace. You talking about Seneca Wallace?
Seneca Wallace. He stayed.
Seneca Wallace was a change up.
He was there for a long time.
He was the same thing as Taysom Hill, or Tyson Hill, the guy from New Orleans. He was a change up guy. But you just don't see it. Like we
don't see it as much, man. But you know what? Get off Tebow, man. Tebow's man of the cloth. Tebow is a great college football player, one of the greatest college football players of all time. Teddy Bridgewater, he's gonna be.
Teddy Bridgewater is still a starter. Like, what are you? Come on, man. Just because they black,
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton's still a starter, and he might be off the roster.
He ain't mentoring nobody.
Nobody.
He's a fashion police. You're right, man. You're right. I'm trying to
compare those names you just gave me to Matt Schaub. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Still just got the league.
Just got out the league.
True? You telling the truth?
I'm telling the truth. It was last year. I'm telling the truth.
Maybe they didn't know he was still on the roster. They didn't notice he was over there. He was like,
they forgot he was on the squad.
He ain't been coming to practice.
Look, I had to talk about Tebow. Who? Tebow. I cannot believe that man just got signed, but good luck to him. All right, we got to sprint now because I took way too long for the Tebow segment. But I did want to at least mention that William Tate will be the first black man in the entire SEC to be appointed as president of the university. When he takes over, he will be the first black president. And that's a good thing, man, because LSU has been known for a lot of black players. They've been known for a lot of black runners, but now they will have a black president at the helm. So shout out. All right, let's cut over to, because I got to rock now. We got to talk about Northwestern. In this fast break segment, their athletic director, who was only athletic director for
10 days.
10 days.
Like Mike short NBA contract.
Short, yeah, he got the 10-day contract, man. The students and faculty, they protested, and in less than 2 weeks, due to the pressure from the student body, Mike Polisky resigns. So you talk about a fast break.
You don't want to protest in your name. Because either it means you're dead or you did something wrong.
You did something wrong, man. You did something wrong. So we'll see what Northwestern does from here. And it's relevant because
Tebow. I don't know. Maybe Tim Tebow. Maybe if he doesn't make the tight end game, he could get that.
They got a holdout.
He never did that.
That might be in the contract. If you do not make this roster,
he could be. Yeah,
we got a spot for you as the Northwestern AD. So we'll see what happens. Also in the Big Ten, man, this massage therapist story is just wild.
Making rounds.
Say again.
Making rounds.
Deshaun Watson had all massage therapists feeling themselves, coming out the woodworks and feeling themselves, no pun intended there, but coming out the woodworks, talking about Deshaun Watson. And now there's a new story, Ohio State. Somehow, some way, there was a particular massage therapist that got a little too close to the players. So Ohio State has banned this therapist from touching their football players. I know you saw the story. I ain't
gonna lie. When I saw the story, I read it the wrong way, and I thought they said they had banned massage therapists from the football team, and I said, "Damn, I hope these boys for inappropriate behavior." I'm like, "Damn, they got a bunch of Deshaun Watsons on their team." I was actually relieved to find out that there was this lady out there making rounds, just trying to get these boys a little pep talk, get that little tension. She just did a little extra, but this 41-year-old woman needs church. She going out here sexually assaulting these young men.
Tebow.
You need Tebow. She out here sexually assaulting these young men. They're just trying to get an education. But that's terrible that they made the news. They should just cut it. Kept it quiet.
Yeah. I hated that it was a story. Deshaun Watson obviously gets drawn into the story. that massage therapy. You got to be shaming yourself. Young boys out there doing that. And I dare you, massage therapy, or I'm challenging you to ask yourself, what would Tebow do? You need Tebow.
What would he do? Get him taking me.
Let's hop into entertainment quickly, man, because we're going a little long today, but it's been so much fun. And we got to get to the entertainment part. There's a new award in the NBA that's going to take sort of the same role as the Walter Payton Award in the NFL. This particular award is going to be named after Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Shout out to Kareem, man. It'll be the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion Award. Try to say that fast. For the player who best embodies his striving for social justice and racial equality. I like it, man. Each team gets a nominated player, just like the Walter Payton Award in the NFL. They get to nominate a player on their roster for consideration of the award. What do you think about it, man? A $100,000 donation to the organization they're choosing. Does the NBA have it right? They started off in first place when it came to social justice and supporting their players. They had a few cramps along the way, but I think they found their mojo with this one. What do you think about this award?
I mean, I think it sounds good. You know, I look at it and say, hey, it's a great idea. I like what the NBA is doing, standing behind it. They're kind of been a player-first league. You compare it to the other leagues. The only thing I wonder is, you know, is there going to be someone on every team that is doing social justice activities? You know, unlike charities, which will never go away, social justice, you kind of wonder what's going to happen in a few years. Is this going to die down? Is it going to be something where people move away from it? You know, what happens, you know, how long do you give this award? What happens if we, as a nation, we actually move in the right direction and it no longer becomes a hot topic? Hopefully.
You got hope. You got faith that as a nation, we can get to a point where there's no need for social justice.
There's never going to be a lack for charity, but hopefully hopefully we can achieve equality at some point, right?
I like it.
I mean, in the next 20, 30 years, the majority of what the country is not going to be white anymore. It's going to be people of color. Things are going to change a little bit. Maybe things will be done. So at one point, do you just stop the award? Like
at that point, maybe white people want to do social justice.
Social justice, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only thing you wonder. Is there going to be 32 people? It's 32 basketball teams, right? 32 people.
30 teams.
30 teams, sorry. 30 teams, think about football. 30 teams that have somebody that you can nominate every year. And are they going to keep this on 10 years from now? Are we still going to have people talking about social justice, or is that going to just kind of fade away? But for the moment, I think it sounds like a great award.
It might be the NBA dangling that carrot to make sure that social justice and activism along the social justice lines of thinking and doing never go away. So I don't know.
Sure.
There's always going to be some group underrepresented. There's always going to be injustices in the world, not because we want it to be, just because.
That's
I hate to sound this cryptic and cynical about, you know, the world, but I think there's always going to be injustice. So I hope that this award goes a long way to encouraging players, because we started off talking about the fast break and, you know, here today, gone tomorrow, but being a social justice warrior has a lot more substance than being a great 3-point shooter or you know, a great quarterback, whatever. So I like that the NBA is doing that. And hopefully this Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Social Justice Champion Award will encourage these young players.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award. I'm good with that.
I know, right? But that'd be too easy. All right, man. Let's end it here with J. Cole, baby, because it's J. Cole.
Did we drop any bars? Did we have a J. Cole?
I don't think we have bars, you know. But I like me some J. Cole. His album released last night at midnight. But he's in this entertainment segment, both for the album release. His album is called The Off Season. But also because he'll play in 3 to 6 games of Rwandan Patriots BBC in the Basketball Africa League. We know that he at one point played college basketball. I saw a few of his workouts. His jumper still looked wet. And he's going to be playing in this African Basketball Africa League. Shout out to J. Cole, man. I didn't know he was nice like that. We talked about in this fast break episode, we asked whether or not any track guys could play football and vice versa with DK.
Well, how many you know that could hoop?
J. Cole.
J. Cole, Master P.
It's a lot of rappers that get training with their jump shot, But J. Cole can actually play. He can play. So shout out to him, man. Have you heard the offseason?
Do him and Dame Dash drop our album together? Does that make sense? And then they could do a 2-on-2 tournament? I'm tripping.
I don't think Dame.
Damon Dash. Not Damon Lillard.
Yeah, I was about to say Damon Dash.
I get rap in my head.
Damon Lillard. Maybe.
You looked at me like, please explain.
Yeah, like Dame Dash. That's
literally my fault, Damon. So I got the Damon right. Man, I'm getting
boy named Damon. You know what I'm talking about. Look, man, we'll see, man. Because Dame, what they call himself, Dimes, Damon Lillard, that would be pretty cool. You might be on to something, man.
Let us produce it. My stuff takes a little while to understand, but
Now I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Look, this has been the Fast Break episode of the Ball Hog Sports Talk. We talked about Tebow. We talked about the NBA. We talked about DK Metcalf. We talked about Kyrie. We talked about a lot of things, but most importantly, we did try to connect to the fact that all of our brothers and sisters that celebrated Ramadan and gave up so much for so long, we wish you well. Eid Mubarak to you and your family. And as we try to get through this week of sports, business, and entertainment, it's going to be a lot of good stuff out there. Make sure that you stay tuned because we might drop another freestyle on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday. The Ball Hog Sports Talk is doing more and trying to get out there even more. So please continue to follow us like we ask you every week humbly. Please like, please comment, please share, tag a friend, tag a foe, tag anybody that you know. Your mama, tag all of them. You can't say that close to Mother's Day. But tag everybody that you know. And we're going to be back next week, next Friday, with some more heat. You know how we do it, rough, rugged, and raw. It's the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B. Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of South, a.k.a. Mr. Success Celebration, with your boy, The Big Flow Show. And we is out. Peace.